World of Warcraft has been one of the most popular MMOs for over 20 years of its existence. And over that time, to keep being a success, it innovated, grew, and modernized along with its audience. Currently in the game, you can do almost anything, from saving the planet from outworld threats, to being an engineer, archaeologist, cook, spend all your in-game hours collecting plants, stones, recipes, fishing, winning dragonflight races, collecting rare mounts, rare pieces of clothing or gear, playing dress to impress, you get it. But the one thing that we've never been able to do, mirroring the experience of everyone born since the 90s, is own a house. Well, until now. Blizzard put out an update on their websites announcing that, surprise, you'll get to be able to own a home in Azeroth in the near future. Player homesteading isn't a revolutionary idea. Final Fantasy XIV and Elder Scrolls Online already have houses available for years, but Blizzard used to be famously very good at being late to the MMO party and releasing features that improve upon the competition. And we've had good signs recently with the additions of the revamped flight system that just added that oomph of excitement that was missing for a while in the game. So hopes are actually up for this. Okay, so what did Blizzard announce really? Going through the article, the main things I see are the main focus seems to be the accessibility on housing for everyone, as opposed to Final Fantasy, where apparently, I don't know how it works. I just saw people complaining about it when I was doing research for this video, but there was an auction system apparently, and that was very problematic and got changed to a lottery system. And getting a house was kind of a hurdle. And while the idea is for housing to be easy to get, with focus on the social element and sharing spaces with real neighbors, I don't know how that's going to work, but it's an effort to not isolate people in their houses, as well as having no upkeep or plot losses if you don't renew your subscription. And from what I understood, when you get a house, it's yours until you move. No timers, no expiration dates, or any kind of worries related to account stuff. If you log out, if you don't renew subscription, the house will still be there. They emphasize the fact that housing is being developed with the main focus on customization, collaboration, and social interaction, as they themselves put in the post. No pay to play or pay to win. Housing is designed to be primarily player first and not revenue first. Kitty, how you doing? Our highest priority is to allow players to build a house that shows off their own personal tastes. Another cool thing is that housing and decorations can be shared warband wide. So any goodies or cool drops you might get from your home would be soulbound, just like mounts or transmogs. But how exactly would this whole neighbor housing social thing work? Well, there seems to be an effort into building housing zones where there'll be a number of plots to choose from, and other players can buy housing in the same zones. So it implies that you and your friends can buy housing next to each other and interact and collaborate with each other's housing. I'm not really sure. Still not clear to me how that will work. You'll be able to live in or visit your friends' or guildmates' houses and their neighborhoods with minimal restrictions regarding faction. Seems very ambitious. Initially, they're announcing 2 main zones divided by faction. And the concept, that art that was released for the Horde one, looks amazing. It looks really cozy, really nice. They also mentioned being public and private neighborhoods, hinting that maybe guilds can have their own guild-exclusive housing zones, maybe, possibly in the future. Also, in the social element, the post suggests that though you might not be able to buy a house from the opposite faction, like a faction character, you can log into your alliance character and buy a house in the alliance zone, and your horde characters in the same warband can live in there or visit there to like visit your friends' houses in the alliance, and vice versa, which is very interesting. A little bit confusing as well. I don't know if I explained that right. They're starting small with the 2 main faction zones, but they're leaving the possibilities of expanding to different regions and different zones in the future as the feature grows, which again, sounds very ambitious. So there are a few main concerns here as I see. The main one being the engine limitations. The main reason that we haven't had player housing for so long, at least Blizzard's main excuse for years, was that the engine, while it's built in, simply does not support the kind of features that a fully customizable neighborhood might need. That's why the closest thing we've ever had to a player housing with the garrisons on Warlords of Draenor. God, how I love those. That's all they could do in regards of customizable player bases. And to be honest, I would not complain if the initial concept of player housing was just like a revamp of garrisons and they expanded on that feature in the future. God, it's really hard to say feature and future in the same sentence. I just miss garrisons, to be honest. It was a really fun part of the game. The challenge is that WoW just isn't technically capable right now of letting the player customize the space in the world. We can place objects like toys, but they're not permanent. And a fully like rotating, placing, hanging stuff on walls and the detail customization that they mentioned seem to be very hard with the tools that they currently have, but they're working on it. So, and there's also the concern of some players about the bad side of garrisons. If you're not familiar with Warlord of Draenor, the garrison was the hub of your PvE experience in Draenor. It's where you received missions, completed work orders for your professions, learned recipes, got toys and mounts and cosmetics, created portals for different towns. It was basically your own little town within Draenor. The feature is awesome, in my opinion, and people loved it, I think, a little bit too much. Players wouldn't spend like most of their in-game time in the garrisons doing garrison work and just queuing for stuff, so not leaving, and it would leave the main cities of the expansion kind of deserted. The addictive, customizable experience kind of isolated the players a bit from the whole MM element of the MMO. That's a concern for some players about this new housing feature, but Blizzard seems to be aware of that and making social interaction one of their main pillars of this whole housing stuff, and making sure, for instance, that player houses are not their own instances, instance, and they're part of like an active populated neighborhood. Still very weird to me how they're going to do that. I'm very curious about that, very interested. It also reminded me a little bit of class halls in Legion, where like everybody was kind of doing their own thing, but they're all together in like this big thing, and it was like a separate instance of the rest of the world. At least I play Legion as a druid, and the class hall for druids was really cool. I don't know if it was as cool as other class halls, but the druid one was really fucking cool. I used to love that. I think it's a great idea, and I have a theory actually that the housing feature is also an attempt by Blizzard to grab and hook the attention of the cozy gamers, which is a recent and huge community that might be into fantasy and MMOs and the WoW universe and the WoW lore, but still need that homesteading, cozy grind aspect. Me included. I've played WoW for over a decade, but I think it would be a really good thing to have in between expansions. Something I do when I'm bored and I have nothing else to do in the game is kind of go hunting rare transmogs and rare mounts and grind that stuff. So it would be really cool if you're in between expansions, or if you're done with the main storyline and you're just like infinitely queuing and grinding for some kind of drop, you have nothing to do in between, instead of just wandering around the map or maybe grinding your professions, you could grind stuff in your home. I don't know, do some kind of work in your house and improve it. I think that's a very clever thing, because that will get me back into the game in between expansions. Because what I do usually is I buy a subscription when the expansion comes out. I play the whole story, and then when it's done, I kind of just stop playing and wait for the next one to come out. So that would keep me in the game. Like, that would keep me in the game for a good while, definitely. Especially if they're not pay to win and pay to play, and you can drop stuff like in dungeons or grind stuff for your house. That would definitely get me into the game. And as you can tell, I am extremely excited, because since the garrisons, I've been missing that kind of thing in the game. As I said, the initial concept could even be simple. I just want a place where I can display like all my weird little trinkets and trophies and achievements and cool drops. I would love to be able to grind professions in the home, but also then you would be moving kind of into the garrison territory, which would just make players spend most of their time in their house. But we'll see. I think they can find balance in there. Also, I'm a pet collector myself, so can you imagine being able to designate some of your favorite rare coolest pets to just hang around your home, or like have a similar thing to the garrisons where you had like a little pin where your mounts could, like your rare and cool mounts could like chill and greet you. The concept art has this really cool, like there's like a griffin parked on the side of the house, because I don't know, that would just be really cool. I just think that if they don't even need to like make new stuff for us to like grind and drop and stuff. I mean, they should. I'm not saying they shouldn't. They should. But as an initial concept, if you could just display the stuff that you already have, like the players have like worked and grinded so much onto drops in this game, that just having a place where you could display it would be awesome. I would love that. I know that I've given blood, sweat, and tears into some drops, and I would love to have them exposed somewhere for people to see, just because I don't want all that time to go nowhere. Also, this wouldn't make any sense within the lore. I'm not saying that like not do it. I'm just I'm just saying, can you imagine like, oh yeah, the world is being plunged into darkness. Hang on, let me build this house here from scratch real quick and spend hour grinding decorations with my friends and guild members. Azeroth can wait. There's nothing official yet about when that's going to be a thing, but I saw some blogs saying there is a roadmap and player housing is expected to come out in winter 2025, which is a very, very short time. It's very fast actually for such a complex change. So let's see. Like I said, even if they had like an initial just exposing your trinkets and stuff, I would already be happy and they would expand it in the future. So I don't know what I want. I don't know. I really don't know. So I want to know what hyped you about this whole housing situation, and also what features you would like to see in your WoW player base homestead. And please do leave in the comments, because this is everything we know as to the day of recording this video. This is everything we know about the player housing feature. So whenever we get more updates, I will make another video talking about it. And if you leave any questions in the comments or any opinion that you think might be positive or negative about this new feature, anything that you might think it's interesting to share or not, just say what you think, even if you think it's not interesting. I could add into the next update video, so I could answer any of your comments or research any of your questions so you don't have to. Or even if you like have any other questions that I didn't actually realize were actually good questions, so I can look them up and see if we have any answers or any counterpoints to the whole housing situation. Do you think the garrisons were bad and the housing situation is a bad idea? Anyway, I would appreciate if you gave your opinion so I can maybe include them in the next video. That would be fun. But for now, this is all we know. I'm really excited. I'm always very happy to talk about WoW and the games that I am passionate about in any kind of video. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you want to have more updates, I will be updating as soon as I have anything new. Please do subscribe so you can get the next videos. Do like the video because it helps the video a lot, pushes the video to more people. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next one.